Hey everyone, welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast, where we dive into the people, stories, and iconic moments that have helped make sneakers a global phenomenon. If you've ever told someone that you like their kicks, then you're in the right place. Before we lace up this episode, here's a little teaser for you. Stick around to the end of each episode for the last shot question. It's a chance to test your sneaker knowledge and engage with our community. I've also recently started a newsletter to share my knowledge from nearly 2 decades of experience working in the footwear industry. You can find the link to that below or go to sneakerhistory.com/newsletter for a weekly deep dive into the biggest topics in the sneaker business. All right, now that the business is taken care of, grab your favorite pair of kicks and let's get started with the episode. What up, what up? Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast. My name's Nick with my guy Robbie. Talk about some kicks. Going to talk about some Pride shoes. We're going to talk about some rocking and copping. First of all, what's good, man? How you been? Been a little bit since you and I have been on the show together.
It has been a little bit. You were in Japan and then sick, and then I was out of town for like 2 weeks. Happy to be back with you. Nice to see you.
Yeah,
But it
good to
has
see
been a
you
little
too,
bit of time. Not mad about it though at all. It's gonna be a fun episode. It's that time of the year. I feel like all of the fun or impactful months in terms of like, it's a fun time of the year. I don't want to divulge too much, but it's a good time. What you been rocking though? What you been copping?
So kind of summer vibes, right? Like the leads into the spring summer is like you kind of break out some stuff that you don't normally wear during the winter that you don't want to destroy. But this week in the Discord, oh man, I forget who had the choice of what did you wear today theme was for our weekly theme, but it was Kith collabs, and I broke out the Colette Puma displays with Kith that this is like 2017, 2018, maybe.
No, 2017's. Well, that's when Colette closed.
2016 then, yeah. So yeah, the year before. It's getting a little bit yellowed on that. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but
the webbing,
yeah. But it's one of my favorite collabs. I actually picked up both the shoes, so that's what I rock today. Coppin, I didn't pick anything up recently, but I am absolutely eyeing the Huff Air Max 1. Obviously, if you know anything about me, you know I'm a pretty diehard Huff fan, and can't really imagine passing those up. So hopefully, at very least, I get the orange version. I would love the pink and the green too, but we'll see how that goes. How about you?
What's really funny about that is I got a marketing brief email about the Air Max 1 Huffs, and literally just seeing the subject line preview, I was like, oh, this is a Nick shoe. Because you also just happened to have posted like a Huff Air Max 90 or something recently too.
Yeah.
So I was like, that made me think of you when I saw those. Gorgeous shoes. That's going to be a good one. Personally, I'm fighting a cold like it's a demon. So I've been rocking the Benzie slides, the Stussy versions around the house. And before we started recording, Nick and I were talking about what type of shoes you wear around the house. I'm obviously a slides guy. Nick has gone between slides and house shoes. Here's what's weird though, and tell me if it's weird. I find it kind of icky if you just go to somebody's house and they're just like bare ass foot, like flesh to tiles. Weird to me, right? Or socks at least. It's, I don't know. Tell me, is that weird, listener Nick?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, so I'm very much a sock guy. Like I'll wear socks around the house, socks and slides in the house. I have a couple of pairs of slides. I have like basically a couple pair of slides at both the front door and the back door. So if I've got like an outside pair of slides that if I need to go, you know, our laundry is in our garage, which is behind. So like if I need to go, like I just slip them on. I don't know if it's I don't think about it being gross.
Not gross. It's just weird.
But
why
yeah,
are feet naked?
Yeah. Well, for me, like I can't like. So this might be a little too much information, but most days, like at the beginning of the day or the end of the day, Cam is like, she'll feel my hands or my feet, and like they're just freezing cold. So she's just like, "Are you dead? Like, are you like, what is wrong with you?" So that for me is always like, I've always worn socks because I like my fingers and toes just get cold. But the other thing that like the reason why I typically don't stick with house shoes as much, because if I do the house shoe thing and go barefoot in the house shoe, they quickly turn to just like, I don't want to wear this stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel right. So, but I'm also incredibly lazy. So, like if I have house shoes by the bed and wake up and I'm like, oh, I got to take the dog out real quick, or if the dog's whining in the middle of the night or something and I have to get up, then it's just barefoot into the house shoes and
Ugh.
yeah, and then like yeah, it
You
just
gotta you
I
gotta step
get in
your
my head about it.
circulation up.
Yep.
You gotta step your circulation up. Tell your body just to start flowing better. That's the pets are a big reason why, because cat hair
Yeah.
between the toes, dog hair, squirrel
Yep.
hair. I don't know your lifestyle, listeners, but one last shout out to Rowit, because like 2 years ago, he bought me like a 6 pack of no show socks as like a Christmas gift, like a Nike employee 101 is here some no show socks, and I don't wear no shows out in public in most cases, so that pack of no show socks, little does Rowit know, has been keeping my feet covered in the house for like two
Nice.
years now, because I only wear them in the house. And yeah, listeners, how do you get down at home? Tell us. Drop a comment. Now, for what I've been rocking, I kind of rocked it around the neighborhood today, just to kind of, I guess,
Yeah, those
copping.
are
No,
good.
I copped and rock. So a lot going on here. The episode ultimately is going to be about, LGBTQIA plus awareness month, Women's History Month, Black History Month. This beginning of the year, first half is all the bangers. So Adidas was very nice and sent over their Pride Response CL here. So I gave it a little test drive, but it's also the copping part. So not to get too convoluted, but super cool shoe. My only really critique is that it's very toned down. These laces came stock with black. I switched them out for this pair,
Yeah.
which matches the whole motif of the collection all throughout the sock liner here. It's kind of this digital flame print. It's a collab with a Brazilian drag queen artist named Pablo Vittar, and he kind of spearheaded the whole collection. And it's all themed off this kind of like 90s pixelated flare look. Um, we'll go into how each brand's kind of tackling this month, but just from an Adidas standpoint, I feel like their collection has been the most comprehensive in terms of unisex collection for all types of people, all types of looks between shorts, skirts, pants, backpacks. What I've
Yeah.
been really interested to see is the MLS jerseys. There's 5 different between Atlanta, Seattle, LA. I think New York's one of them too. But soccer jerseys that all have the same kind of digital flare print going through it, and it's just a really clean motif. I'm really not familiar with Pablo Vittar personally, but I watch a lot of American drag. I know that Brazil, shout out to George Santos, is a huge area to do drag. It's a very popular area. So to see him get a global collection, he has 4.5 million followers, so he needs no
Yeah.
introduction for me.
Yep.
But what they're doing is absolutely great from an Adidas perspective. Even the backpacks look good. I'm just like, to execute a collection and have you say, "Damn, that backpack looks nice." I mean, you did something right. So this
Yep.
is all available now. There's actually a shell toe superstar available too that has like the flame print all throughout the midsole and on the shell. I don't like that one quite as much. This Response CL could probably go at any time of the year. It's just a really, really clean silhouette. My second pair of Response CLs in the past 2 years. I love it, man. I don't know if you have. I know you're more of a ZX guy, but the Response CL line, bangers for me. I don't know. I've always really enjoyed them.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, I think I think that pattern too, like just I agree, like the CL is probably the best of it. I think there's a black gazelle too, right? Or a black
Yeah,
samba.
it's a stack Samba.
Stack samba. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
I'm pulling it back over to make sure I get that right, but I'm pretty sure. Pardon me, it's a stacked gazelle. Darn gazelles. But yeah, double stacked midsole.
But like that pattern just like looks like the perfect accent theme for the whole thing, right? Like I feel like that's part of like the struggle with like the way they did it on the Superstar. I'm just not a fan because it's like the whole bottom, the whole like midsole, outsole, and the toe,
Mm-hmm.
which it's like it doesn't break up the shoe enough, right? Like you swapping the laces makes that like perfect to me. I think, but
You know, I'm definitely loving them. It's interesting to see how the push Adidas made. We'll go into some other brands here, but of like, I guess the big two now, right? I mean, big three if you want to consider Under Armour, but they're definitely not playing at the big boy table. Between like Nike and Adidas, Nike didn't release a collection this year, and then you have Adidas really pushing this beautiful global collection. I don't know. It's an interesting take because I had to double check the group chat to see, hey, did I miss something from Nike, or did they just say no this month, and they opted out.
yes. So I wrote a little bit about this last week because I just I don't know, like you expect. We talk about it all the time, but it's like I have the highest expectations for Nike, right? Like they set the tone for everyone, no matter who is doing great in the footwear industry. Nike's like so high up and so perfect storm of like hiring the best agencies, having the most nostalgia, the most like they're the most powerful, right? So and they usually stand behind their athletes and behind their people, and I think that feels really weird that they're not doing it. And I did see Under Armour does have a couple of shoes. I mean, I'm not a big Under Armour guy outside of maybe the basketball stuff,
Yeah,
but th- they're pretty good looking shoes. I think they were like
the Phantom 3.
yeah,
Um,
Phantom. I don't know the numbers of them. I'm so far off
it's
on
the
them, but
Phantom 3 and the Sonic 6. I mean, Under Armour, Reebok, there is some good stuff going on, but you talking about Nike being a leader is a huge point. They pretty much spearheaded not just Pride Month, but just celebratory
yeah,
collections of shoes, right? Telling stories through shoes. I believe that's called storytelling, right? From a footwear perspective. But even just one step further, Nike is almost always lockstep with their athletes. And to kind of just bring it back to Adidas for one more second, they have their athletes in the campaigns too. So like if it's
yeah,
pro players or Olympic athletes, like Adidas is putting their athletes in this collection and putting them out there, which is like a double like kick to the butt. Like, we're killing it right now. But yeah, Nike definitely does lead. But like Under Armour, Reebok, I kind of put them in that like second size tier in terms of like market cap wise. Um, Adidas is definitely chasing Nike's tail a little bit, but the dog got around this time, and it's like I don't know. The Under
yeah.
Armour stuff is cool. Just to
It
kind of go
is.
back to your point.
It feel and I guess this would be the best way to explain it, right? Like those two models and then a pair of slides. It's kind of like what Nike would have done with the Be True line 5 years ago, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like you know, for Nike, that's minimal effort that I would accept as you did the most basic celebratory shoes. Under Armour is like cool, like like steps in the right direction because I don't remember too many Pride shoes from Under Armour. Adidas has done really well with it off and on through the years. Some years obviously better than others, but like it's just weird that it's just like non-existent. And I was talking to some friends about it last week a little bit too, and just wondering like, was it just a conscious decision to say we're not going to do this, or was it, like it's almost like we live in a world where the transparency is important. Like if it didn't happen because of some sort of weird mishap, supply chain thing, whatever it is, then it'd be better to say that so people know, in my opinion. But if it's we're just not doing it because the previous year we got a bunch of backlash from it because like people were you know fake offended about everything last year, right? Like the last couple of years has been you know even like Target was getting a bunch of like,
Budweiser.
oh yeah, Budweiser, everybody's like can't canceled, right? But then it's like, well, the people that are doing the canceling are still drinking a different beer from the same company that you canceled on one. They're canceling them on one hand and buying from them on the other, and that's usually how it always works. Right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go buy a pair of shoes from this company just to burn those shoes and show that I'm canceling them. And it's like, well, you just gave the company money, so you're technically supporting them
in the first
probably
place.
more so than you did before the cancellation happened.
It's like a weird course correction though, because the Nike Be True stuff historically, like 3 to 6 models a year, like 3 to 6 different
Yeah.
offerings from a range from like a Cortez down. I think they're all kind of more lifestyle sneakers, and I bring that up to kind of circle back to the Under Armour. The Phantom 3 is one of their premier running shoes. I just took a little peeky peek at underarmour.com. That mother trucker is sold out. Like they've moved units, or maybe it was limited, but there's not a lot of options in men or women on that Phantom 3. And we'll go into some of the other brands here. I mean, might as well do it this way. I already brought up Reebok.
Hold on one sec. Before you go to the next one, the one thing about this Nike thing that we should touch on, the reason why I had high expectations for Nike and Pride and the Be True line this year is because at the end of last year, whatever, October, November, they released a signature shoe for Leo Baker. And that seems like you're like, where are you not, how are you not connecting those dots, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the first trans person to get a signature shoe, it doesn't seem like it was like super popular, but I think they still deserve some shine, some conversation at this time of the year as well. But it's just weird, man. It's just so weird to me. I like, kind of just gets under my skin, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, so I feel like I flip flop a lot, but I mean, you bring that up in the athlete part. Adidas actually partnered with uh, a nonprofit, right? A group that I'll call them Athlete Ally that helps identify how sports can be more inclusive. I believe they had a statistic of like 50% of people in the LGBTQIA plus community want to be more involved in sports, and 43% of them don't participate in sports now, either because they don't feel comfortable or whether their situation might be. But there's a market of people who want to be more active in product that helps represent their lifestyle. And Adidas partnering with them, that's great. Under Armour making running shoes, and there's going to be a couple more running shoes here. What I'm getting to is shoes at the fundamental root of them are supposed to be purpose driven. Like you don't put shoes on just because, like, I mean, they look cool, right? But they protect your feet. They help you run more anatomically correct. If you're working, the steel toe boot protects your foot, right? If you're playing basketball, they help you jump faster, jump higher. But what I'm getting to is a lot of these brands, Under Armour, just as the first example, are releasing product that you can be your authentic self in doing sports, which typically are like, don't be your authentic self with sports, right? I even think about the New Jersey net player, Jason Collins, right? I'm sure he was told many times by people close to him, like, hey, like, maybe don't be yourself. You're in the NBA, right?
Yep.
And putting those two together in footwear that you can actually use, I think is probably the best part of not just Pride Month, but any celebratory shoe. Like, have it something that you can, like, actually use. I love the Cortez, but like Dornbecker Cortez or Be True Cortez, you're maybe gonna wear that shoe one day a year because it's not comfortable. I don't know, but like a great running shoe, great motif, maybe a little donation somewhere, make the buyer feel good. Those are all positives. I love that kind of stuff.
Well, and to your point, I think like Reebok did a Nano this year, right?
They did
It's
the
like
X4, yep.
cool. Like, like obviously we land on the more aesthetic side of all these sneaker conversations most of the time. But to your point, it's like you should be able to buy shoes that represent you, that are available for whatever sport or whatever hobby or whatever it is that you're into, or whatever, like if you are a runner, like you should be able to get a shoe that represents you and your community in that style. I'm not saying that everybody has to have every single shoe, but it seems like pretty easy low lift for brands that mass produce shoes to be
Yes.
able to do this. And like there's just so many, right? There's so many shoes that are made that it's like it doesn't, like, most of these brands pride themselves on storytelling, and this seems like a no-brainer to partner with people and allow those people to use the brand to elevate the stories that need to be told. Yet, I don't know, it's just, it's so weird. I don't know, like I said, I'm kind of stuck on the Nike thing, but it was cool to
Weird.
see like the Reebok. I like the Reebok Classic
Yeah.
a
Oh,
lot
those are
this year
gorgeous
too.
too. I mean,
Yeah,
the X4, they did an X. I have the Pride X3 from last year. That's a great example because LGBTQIA plus people are athletes too. They want to do CrossFit. Like there's the same white dude who gets mad, like, oh, it's not for me anymore. It's like, bro, you had 150,000 years of it being
right.
about you.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
make some stuff about other people. Like, and this maybe, I don't know. I would love to see, especially this time of the year with these athletic shoes, do activations. Like, there's definitely, LGBTQIA plus community running groups. There's definitely CrossFit gyms that cater to making inclusive, comfortable places for their members. And maybe one day Under Armour will set up a booth around the country, different gyms around the country, or Adidas will, to get those shoes, activated. You know, who knows? I'd like to see it like we're getting closer, but it's one more step to like the same kind of energy we put to like All-Star Weekend, like getting
yeah,
shoes in people's hands, or like the Masters, right? Or um,
yeah. Christmas
NFL Pro
Day.
Bowl.
Yeah,
Well, they used
exactly.
to be, it's like if they could put the NFL Pro Bowl activations together for some shoes, they should be able to put together some more shoes
Yeah,
for whole months celebrating people.
yep.
One kind of devil's advocate, and maybe Nike thought this was their past since they own Converse. Converse has always probably been the spearheader, the industry leader of inclusive inclusiveness. God, I can't talk right.
Yep.
Including everybody with what's more inclusive than a Chuck Taylor? Like, it's the answer is nothing. It's the everybody shoe. Converse did a whole Pride by You collection this year where you can not just like get Pride collections, but you can customize it to yourself. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Turning like the Nike by You name a little bit. So like Nike should have done something itself, but maybe they're just like, we're going to pass it off to little brother here since they do a good job anyway. Like, I don't know. The Converse stuff looks cool, and I like that's customizable. So I don't have any hate there, but it's like, did you just like, yeah, pass it off to the little brother? Like, I don't quite love that
Yeah.
feel of it. And also, one last point about Nike and all the brands, SEO is strong. If you type in Pride Month shoes, Nike's Air Force One that has kind of like rainbow coloring on it, really strong SEO optimization on that one, Nike, because they pop up real quick right alongside the brands that put effort in. So that's not a necessarily like dig at Nike, just more of a clap on the, round of applause on
Well,
SEO. Like, I don't know.
I mean, honestly, like I would look at that as like, if you put effort into ranking in terms of search optimization, then clearly you know that there's value in creating this product, right? Like, that is another sign that you should be making, in Nike's case, be true or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I'm dumbfounded by it. And it's been a while since, like, there's been little moments around, stuff we've talked about on the show, right? Like the Kobe billboard in Times Square was a weird one for me, where I'm just
Yeah.
like, ah, like, and I feel like I'm always picking on Nike, and that's not my intention, but like, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way for the other brands, but like, I give a shit about the stories that came from Nike, because they became my stories and my friends' stories and my family stories. And like, I got into sneakers because me and my brother bonded over drawing and like
They
coloring our
taught
own
us to
sneakers
care,
and
so you care.
customizing them. Yeah. So like, now it feels like, well, you got, like, where are you at? Like, you got to be caring, but
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
they taught us how to care about the storytelling. So when the storytelling isn't quite there, or we feel like it's not there, we're gonna have more adamant feelings towards Nike because
Yeah.
they taught us how to care in the first place. Here's some free game though. If you want to buy a Pride shoe, like as you listen to this episode, Reebok has last year's Club C for literally
Yeah.
$40. I almost
Yep.
bought them, but I'm still on my streak of not spending money on shoes. But if you want to support and look cute, $40, Club C. tons of sizes. Go buy a pair. Down from 90. Who could say no? But yeah, Under Armour killing it. 2 different shoes. Adidas killing it. Hoka, Saucony, and Brooks all kind of getting in this party. I've never really okay, that's the sidebar. Brooks does do some cool stuff sometimes. Like I have a St. Patrick's Day Brooks shoe. They get fun with it sometimes. They have like a whole, it's an artist, and I can't tell who the artist is because Brooks doesn't storytell very well, and they have no mention of what the artist is on their website. Like they have absolutely no input. And on top of that, the photo that has the insole shot it's flipped, so it's upside down, so I can't read it. Bad jobs on that, Brooks.
Man.
But it's a Ghost 15. I mean, even just walking around New York, a lot of Brooks out there.
Yeah,
that's a great move. We have the Saucony Jazz Court Pride, which is like the opposite of what Saucony normally does. This is like a vulcanized rubber looking court shoe, like a really old retro looking shoe, but through some Pride colors.
Kind of Club C vibes on that, right? Like a little bit of like Club C like a vulcanized Club C from that. Yeah. And then actually, to your point about like the Brooks kind of missing the mark. One, like give Robbie and I a call. We'll help you out with that. No problem. But like the crazy part is like Saucony has done that for years too. And like it never becomes enough of a thing to get more than like maybe one post, or like if even that, like maybe they send an email and it's like, cool, our one shoe is here type of thing. I would love to see them like actually create some stories and tell some stories around that stuff, because again, like when you actually get to see these kind of maybe non traditional or non sneakerhead, like they don't normally make it into our world, the silhouettes from the other brands, it's like the perfect time for them to like get a good story going and get a good collab going and like make it a thing, right? Because now you have a little bit of attention that you don't normally get. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a weird one.
Hoka, I mean, so much like Saucony, it's just like they put their Pride colorway in the big drop down alongside all of the other colorways. So it's like, help me, it's just rainbow. And like they did a good SEO job because it pops up alongside the other Pride shoes. And the Clifton 9 has been killing it for $145. That's just a good ass looking shoe. I think I know the guy who works at Hoka. I'm gonna have to reach out to him. Like you're missing this opportunity. I can't talk very well about this shoe other than it's a rainbow Clifton 9 that looks good, which are all positive things. Those are all three good things. But
I mean, I feel like the Clifton is like probably their most popular model.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like I see it everywhere at this point, and this colorway is super dope. Like
it looks great, right? It's just like it's good looking.
Yeah.
The Ghost 15, I mean, to keep going back to Brooks, that Ghost 15 looks damn good though too, and like it almost has like a Keith Haring vibe on it. Just tell me who does it. Tell me more. Tell me more. These brands. Reebok really touched on. They did a classic leather alongside the Nano X4. Both really good things. Vans got on the party today, so we had a Vans Together as Ourselves. That's like the title of the Wavy. I will say I hate that name, the Wavy, WAYVEE, Wavy. It feels like I'm a South Park character. I don't know, but just like the naming conventions at Vans has been off the rails for a while.
Kind of unrelated, but maybe related. Yeah, there you go. They just hired a new CEO, maybe. I might have to check this real quick.
I don't know, but man, they again, just like Saucony, Brooks, and everybody else, Together as Ourselves. Great. You told me it's something. Oh no, they do have a blurb in honor of Pride Month and our ongoing commitment to supporting LGBTQIA plus voices. Vans is donating $200,000 from the Vans Checkboard Fund at the Tides Foundation. visit Vans.com to learn more. So, hey, they had something. Oh, there's a little more. This year for Pride, Vans invites you to celebrate our individuality in the queer community with Pride shoes that speak to you, featuring multicolored side stripes inspired by Philly Pride flag. Together as ourselves, Wavy blends this progressive skate shoe with an electric, bold aesthetic that honors and shares individuality within the queer community. Look at that. First time reading that too. Look at that. I can read. I can read. But like that took 2 cents. Like that's 2 baby paragraphs, and I just learned a ton about the Wavy. So every brand, at least, give me 2 sentences like Vans just did. Like, come on now.
Yeah. So I was wrong. Not a new CEO. They hired the chief product officer from Lululemon, who is Michelle Sun Cho, as the global brand president for Vans. So, you know, like I think we've probably had some conversation about this in the Discord, but Vans has been on a little bit of a slump lately. It seems like they haven't had there's been a few good ones that have come out, but most of the like general release, or not even general release, because like Vans, I don't look at Vans with like general release product, because they just make the same shoes all the time.
Yeah.
And then they do, you know, like their artist series or their, you know, signature series and that kind of thing. And I think that like there hasn't been a lot of energy around the marketing of the artist series, the signature models, outside of some of the more nostalgic. I think, you know, they did like that, was a Jeff Rowley shoe. But yeah, like who knows, maybe this, you know, woman will bring them back and kind of give them some energy, because I think like Vans is one of those companies that everybody, or at least for me, I don't want to speak for everybody, but it feels like that's a company that everybody wants to see win, right? Like it feels like they do the most. Typically, they're trying to do the most to support like very small creators, artists, musicians, you know, all the way up and down, right? Like they seem like they've always done that. It seems to be a core kind of belief for the company. But it's also probably the hardest way to go about doing it, because you get, you know, these other brands that are like, oh, we just hired like the most, you know, popular person on the planet to wear our shit, you know.
Here's the most accurate Vans analogy, because you make a great point. Nobody ever says, damn, I hope Vans falls off the face of earth, like you might say about an Under Armour, or like, right? I mean, Under Armour does enough, or has done, to where you're like, for some reason I don't like them. Vans, we all want to see them live. Vans are like ladybugs. You don't kill a ladybug. Like, if it's on you, great. You're happy they're on you. Once they're off, it's fine too. Like the Vans, like literally when it comes to footwear, like, you know, they're on, great. They're not, whatever. They don't make general release. They just make the, like you said, the same shoes. I should be able to go buy like a black, a red, or a blue old school Skate 8, you know, era slip on at all times. What they do, I think, worse than anybody else, but also the best, all the little like collabs they do throughout the year, the little cartoons, the National Geographics, they do so much, but it's also like nobody cares. It's just like it's on the same shoe. It's nobody wants to see them do bad, but also like no one's ever like that excited.
Yeah, you know what it almost feels like? It feels like kind of like what you were saying about those shoes being listed just in like, oh, it's a new colorway. Like it has a whole collaborator or a whole story, but it's kind of listed as a new colorway. I feel like Vans does a lot of that, where it's like you know, you go in and you go to the site, or you even go into one of the stores and you see like some insane shoe design, and then they'll be like, oh, there's a half cab, an era, and a old school of that in that same colorway or pattern or whatever. So clearly they did like a collaboration, or they had a good theme going, and they were like, yeah, this is going to be like a 3-pack or a 5-pack of stuff. And usually they even have like apparel too.
Yeah.
But they never promote it more than just like, it's a new colorway. You know what I mean? Like it almost never makes...
Find them at the outlet.
It never lands the news. Yeah, and it always lands at the outlet. Which, I mean, that's also like one of the things I love about Vans, is like you can find really cool shit for $20-$30, you know. So
facts. I mean, this whole conversation and it being Pride Month made me Google the Sailor Moon Vans, because what's more LGBTQIA plus appropriate than Sailor Moon? The answer is nothing. And I didn't buy those shoes, and now they're all like priced up on Poshmark, so that's not going to happen for me. Those should still be on sale for $40 a year and a half later. Anywho, I digress. What's one of your favorite Pride shoes of past? Like, give me one shoe you particularly like, any brand, anything to particularly stick out.
So the one for me that like I actually bought 2 pairs of the Pride Ultra Boost, the first Pride Ultra Boost.
Yes.
I just thought it's like that shoe for me is just like easy to wear, can wear it all the time. Colorway was great. The shoe that I never got that I think I would like to go back and get was the Be True Cortez from 3 years ago now, maybe. Like just like rainbow swoosh kind of vibe, like black and white shoe, or mostly white with a little bit of black. I think that to me is just like an easy shoe for me to wear all the time. But honestly, like if I'm looking at this year's stuff, I think that Clifton 9 from Hoka is really dope. And
right, it's
like
super
I would just
clean.
run in that shoe all the time, you know.
I would just wear it all day.
Yeah.
You know, mine, and I still had them in the back. I sold every pair of Flyknit racers I owned except for one pair, and it's the Be True, because it's just like black and white with the pink swoosh, and the other side is a little bit of rainbow. It's like you can't go wrong with that. Shout out to the Flyknit Racer, the most uncomfortable, cool shoe of all time. Like, if you have wide feet, that shoe is absolutely fucking possible to wear. I was delusional 6 times. I bought 6 different pairs of that same shoe. And I kept one, and I'll still wear it. But yeah, that shoe, the platform is probably about 1 inch thick in the midfoot, and it's just like, who designed this? And when it comes to this year, obviously the Adidas one. Shout out to Adidas for supplying this shoe. I would be lying if I didn't like this. It's fucking awesome. So this year, I already have the Nano X3. Fuck. Yeah, I'm going with the Adidas. I'm going with the Silver Spawns. Of all of them, I already have them in my hand. I don't need to be greedy. I don't need to pick a second one.
I feel like we're gonna have like a January 1st or 2nd, 2025 breaking the seal with Robbie. We're gonna have to do like a live stream for you to like pick up a bunch of shoes that you put off for the last year.
Man, I mean, the beauty of it is shoes do still come in, so I get my itch tickled, scratched, itch tickled. Yep. I don't know about that, but yeah, one day, about once a week, I see something and I'm like, that looks good. Yeah, and I say no. At this point, it's easier to say no. Hey, addict, listener, if you're an addict dealing with something, at some point, if you say no long enough, it becomes easier to keep saying no than it is to break the habit and say yes. So just say no to crack.
Yeah. I mean, I did this in 2016 or 2017. What you're doing, didn't buy a shoe for a full year. Basically thought, oh yeah, like maybe I'll just slow up completely. And then by like February, I'd probably bought like 20 pairs of the next year.
Yep, it's you so course corrected.
Yep. Yeah.
And I shall not do the Nick. I remember you doing that, and I remember the rage you went on after you stopped buying shoes. Which, addict, if you're still listening to the end of the show, that's not the way.
I need like a sign like taped on me right now, like I'm the addict here.
I am too. It's in different things, but yeah, man, say no to the shoes. Go buy some Pride shoes. Feel good about yourself. Go be inclusive. Don't be a dick this month. Be nice to everybody if you can. My biggest thing is, you don't know what someone's going through. You don't know someone's life story. You don't know the steps they took to get where they are in front of you right now. And don't tell anybody to smile either. Just mind your business. Keep it moving. Be nice. Be kind.
Yeah. Tell someone you like their kicks today. It's not that hard.
Tell them something nice. But I think they're rainbow shoes, but cool rainbow shoes.
We'll put the links in the description to all of the things that we talked to, so you can go directly to them if you'd like. Some of those will be affiliate links. Maybe we'll make a couple cents off of your purchase. If you do, we'd appreciate it.
Yep.
But otherwise, I think we're out. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks for spending time with us. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, Nick here again. Before you take off, I want to thank you for listening to the Sneaker History Podcast. Be sure to hop into our Discord to answer this episode's The Last Shot question and get to know our community of sneaker enthusiasts. If you'd like more insights on the trending topics in the sneaker world, I've also recently started a newsletter to share my knowledge from nearly 2 decades of experience working in the footwear industry. You can find the link to that below or go to sneakerhistory.com/newsletter. And last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to be on the receiving end of some appreciation. Thank you for all the support, and we will catch you on the next episode. Peace.